Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I am starting with my first knitting podcast today. I thought I would start with a 2025 makes video because they're always my favorite when I see them. And I thought it'd be a good way to like introduce myself to the podcast community. I notice when I watch 2025 make videos, a lot of makers make a lot, and that is great for them. I work full-time and I work part-time at a yarn store, and then I have other hobbies I love to run, and I dabble in ceramics, and so I don't have quite the volume some people have, but I still knit quite a lot throughout the year. This is a big pile of things I knit this year. And so I thought that I would talk to you about it. I am wearing the Terrazzo sweater by Petite Knit in Noro Silk Garden and some Issei or mohair. I can't think of the color. I knit this several years ago, so this is not something I made this year, but it's one of my favorite sweaters and probably one of my most worn sweaters. I am obsessed with the color. It's so bright and cheery, especially in the winter. So, yeah, and then I guess we'll get started. So the first sweater I finished in 2025 was the Valkyria sweater by Sjosvard. I'll spell it on the screen. And I knit it in Brooklyn Tweed's Shelter in cast iron. It's their worsted woolen spun, and then an Issei or silk mohair. It's like the black color. Sadly, Brooklyn Tweed no longer makes yarn, and so this feels like a very special sweater. I love the little bubble sleeve, and it's super cropped. I mostly wear it over dresses and skirts. I actually almost think it's too cropped. I think I might need to add a couple centimeters because I can't wear it over any pants, and if I wear it over a skirt, depending on the shirt, it sticks out of the back, so that's kind of a bummer, especially because I do love the shape of the sweater so much. So I'm not a super motivated knitter when it comes to like fixing things, so we'll see if it ever gets fixed or if I only ever wear it over dresses, because I would obviously have to like undo the button band and the bind off on the bottom, and if I'm honest, that's just not who I am. The next sweater I'm going to talk about, I actually had somebody undo the bind off for me. So we'll see. Yeah, so that is the Valkyria sweater, and I love it. And then the next one I finished is my Cerata sweater by Joanna. I don't know how to say her last name, Wjernicka. It's one of her first published patterns as far as I can tell, and I will say it's not incredibly size inclusive, but it does have a lot of ease. I didn't realize that when I first decided to cast it on, and then by the time I realized there weren't a lot of sizes, I was already partway through. So I knit this out of Noro Ito. It is one of my favorite yarns of theirs. Noro Viola. And I knit the body way too long initially and had to rip back, but I hate undoing things. So I had my friend Amanda rip out the bind off for me. It was a sewn tubular bind off, and then she took it back several rows into the body, and then I had to reknit the ribbing. And I think I probably would not have finished this sweater if she hadn't done that for me, so I really appreciate it. And then, yeah, it's a nice drop shoulder situation. I love this detail here in the back. I just think that's really charming, and it kind of picks up here in the front. It has tons and tons of texture, and I just can't get over this color. And then I love this neck detail here as well. Okay, and then the next thing I finished, I actually cast on in 2024 and just kind of put to the side because I got excited about other things. This is Sweet Girl, by the way. She is my fluffy fat cat. She's one of 3 kitties that I have. I found her under a barn when I lived in Colorado. Anyway, so I knit the Everyday Collar. It's out of the book 52 Weeks of Shawls, and it was by Andrea O. It's got a beautiful texture on it, with it's just some slip stitches and some purling, and it has a nice long collar. It did not call for these side ties, but honestly, I wear it more as a vest than I do as a like dicky under your jacket, and so I added the ties because before the ties it just looked like I had like this floppy thing on, and I thought it looked a little silly, so I added those, and that definitely helps. And I used some Woolberry Fiber Co. yarn, who's also closing, sadly. And I was a member at one point, and you would get monthly yarn colors from her. And I think this was one of them. I want to say it was like Eucalyptus was the colorway, and it's the mohair, and I think this is a non-superwash merino. And yeah, I love this color. It's a very me color. I love sort of like light greens. You'll see over time that that's definitely a theme I have. I'm pretty green, brown, and rusty overall. Yeah, it was a fun make, and I wear this a lot. I wear it a lot like over a long sleeve shirt with a skirt or a pair of jeans, and it works as a vest. My office is really cold, and so this is a great layer to just throw on, especially in the spring when it gets too warm in the afternoon and be wearing a full sweater. So that is sort of nice. Okay, that's that. And then the next thing I finished was a pair of socks that I actually have not worn really. Sorry, the cat's in the way. Because like the first time I wore them, we live in a really old apartment building, and our floors are original, and some of the nails are coming up, and so I actually just like ripped one of the stitches right away. And I need to fix it, and as I've mentioned, I am not the best like repairer or fixer, so I haven't done that yet. But you can see here I ripped a hole in this sock, the bottom of the sock, so I need to repair that. It just got caught on one of the nails and I didn't feel it, and I pulled that stitch out. But I do love these socks, so I should fix it. These are the Daily Socks by Summer Lee Knits. They have a really fun textured pattern on the front, and it calls for this little color pop on the cuff, and then I did the toe the same color. This is an Explorer Knits and Fibers yarn. It's, I think it was Beach Read, named after that Emily Henry book. And I do love this color and I wish I wore these more. So maybe this podcast will make me fix my socks. I have several pairs of socks that need some darning. Not all because of the nails in my floor, but also just because of a lot of wear. I tend to wear my socks out on the heels. And so I have a few socks that like in the bottom of the heel I need to replace. And there definitely is a way to replace a heel flap and gusset that I've looked into, and I honestly just have been too lazy to do that. The one thing I'll say is I don't know what I was doing or what happened, because I'm usually pretty good about like not making major mistakes, but this sock, you can see I did a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. This is what the sock was supposed to be, and in this one I just like didn't. I don't know what I was doing. It's just a stockinette stitch heel flap, and again, I'm not gonna fix it because I don't think things need to be perfect. So those are my Beach Read socks, or my daily socks by Summerly Knits. And then the next thing I finished, I adore, and I wear this all the time. This is also a Brooklyn tweed yarn. It is their Dapple, which was their 50% cotton, 50% wool blend. This was the undyed color, and again, they don't make yarn anymore, which is sad. So any DK weight yarn would probably work for this. This is called the Emmanuel tee by Joanna Gehrisch, I think. And this was my first time knitting a sweater by her, and I really liked her instructions. From the front, it looks like a really simple, laid-back V-neck sweater, and then in the back, there's this beautiful lace motif, which I just loved knitting. It's all done with increases and decreases, and it was really easy to memorize. And I just love the way it looks. It's so sweet. And there's not a ton to say about this. I love the rolled hem. This is a really easy tee to wear. The one thing I'll say is because it's a t-shirt, I don't wear anything underneath it usually other than like a bra or a cami. And the one thing I struggle with kind of all of my summer knits is that I feel like the armpits always look a little discolored after a while, but I just washed this one, so hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, so that's my Emmanuel tee. That's kind of what I have to say about that. And then I knit a t-shirt called the So Summer Tee by Jessie Made Designs, in a yarn by Earl Grey Fibers, who also no longer makes yarn. I seem to have had a theme this year. She, I think, went back to school, and I'm very sad because I love her dyeing technique. I just think her speckles are spectacular. This was her sport weight base, and I can't recall what the color was. It was like Meet Me Underwater or something like that. And this is just a very cute kind of relaxed summer tee. It has an unfinished neckline, and then it has this folded over cuff on the sleeves, and on the hem of the body. And yeah, I mean, it's nice and easy. I wear it over my jean shorts most of the time. And I just think it's a great summer transitional tee. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it's not like crazy hot all summer, although it has been getting warmer here in the summers, which is a bummer, but for the most part, it's, you know, relatively moderate, and so I can wear this like most summer days and be comfortable in my office, and then, you know, be fine when I go home, not dying of heat. So that's kind of nice. And yeah, that is my So Summer tee. And then the next thing I knit was a pair of slipper socks, and I'm obsessed with these and I want to make more. They are very like Smurfy and I very much enjoy them. These are the Magical Slocks by Enge, and they are knit out of Istexlopi and an Issei or silk mohair. They have this wonderful lavender mohair that I used with this sort of like heathered, like blue purple icy lopi that I just love. You knit these flat and then you like pick up and bind off. It's a free pattern. It's really easy to work up. I think these would make great Christmas gifts, and I intend to knit a few pairs for people in my life. They're super cozy, and I've been on a couple of trips since I knit these, and they're great to pack. And then I just like had them at the Airbnb and had like a little pair of travel slippers. I will say I have really small feet. I'm like a woman's US 5, and so I did knit the children's size. And I would recommend if you have small feet to do that. I think the woman's size would be too big otherwise. I guess there's like a little kid and then like a youth size. I knit the youth size. And I think that worked out really well. We'll see how they hold up. I mean, Icelandic wool is pretty sturdy, and then I feel like the silk and the mohair will add some strength, but they are slippers, so I'm not that worried about like if they wear out or anything. And honestly, they were so fast to knit. I think I knit them in maybe 4 days. So I would like definitely make a pair again if I wore them out. And I have some rust lopi and rust mohair left over from another project that I intend to make another pair with, possibly for my husband, possibly for my friend. We'll see. Both of them have been asking, and my friend hasn't gotten anything recently, but my husband, you'll see, got a sweater this year, so he might have to wait. Yeah. So those are my magical slocks. And then the next thing I finished was the Awen sweater, Awen, by Meghan Babin. This was sort of a labor of love, and I have a little bit of disappointment around it because I think it needed to be a tiny bit longer on my husband. But it was knit bottom up and seamed, and so, as you've heard me say already, there's not a chance I'm fixing it. It fits me really well though, so, you know, there is that. This is an all-over cabled sweater that I knit in Cascade 220. It's a bottom up raglan knit in pieces, and honestly, it's like my first hugely cabled sweater. So it has this beautiful big cable down the center, and then these fun cables off to the side that are mirrored on the sleeve here. And you knit the sleeves flat and everything, and then seam it. And then the cable also runs down the back. And it has a double knit, folded over collar, not a double knit, just a folded over collar. And you just seam, I think I seamed it or I bound it off that way. I honestly can't remember, but you pick it up after, knit it, and then I think I might have just like whip stitched it together. And it has nice like 2x2 ribbing, and the cable, I love that the cable goes into the 2x2 ribbing here. And when I was knitting this, I kept holding it up to my husband, and he definitely like likes his clothes like a little on the slimmer side. He doesn't like things too long, and so he was really worried about the sweater being too long. And so it did say to knit, I don't know, to like 15 inches or something for the body. And I was like, well, I kept holding it up to him, and he was like, I think that's long enough. I think that's long enough. And I was like, okay. So I think I shortened the body by either a half an inch or an inch. I honestly can't remember at this point. And I really wish I hadn't, because I think that like would have been perfect. But it still fits, and like as long as he tucks his sweater in, it looks fine. It covers like his belt, so it's not like it's, you know, super high rise or anything on him. But I think he would probably wear it a little more if it was just a little longer. So I guess maybe I'll get more wear out of it than he will. We'll see. And honestly, it's been so warm this winter here in Portland that he hasn't worn it very much. And then like on the days it's been cold recently, it's been like a weekend and he's like out working on his truck. And so like he's not gonna wear this sweater while he's like covered in grease. So we'll see if it gets wear, and I guess the next sweater I knit him will be a little bigger. It also will not be fully cabled. I have some plans to knit him kind of an oversized stockinette, simple, everyday sweater. I think that it's funny. So he chose this cabled monstrosity, and it's beautiful, and I think he loves it, but I think practically speaking, like he's much more of a simple person. And so we've seen a few sweaters since then that he's like, oh, I really love that. And it's like stockinette stitch with like a rolled neck. And it's like, well, I could have knit you that, but that's okay. Okay, so the next thing I finished, I don't have with me, but I finished a Woodland stocking by Allison Lute. It was a moose, and I'll insert a photo here. I knit it in Cascade 220. And this is the third Woodland stocking I've knit. I have a goal to knit everyone in our family a stocking with a different little woodland creature on it. And I thought I would finish 2 this year, but I only finished 1. I was dealing with a little bit of hand pain at the end of the year, and so I only finished the 1, but that's okay. I gave it to my brother-in-law. I gave 2 to our nieces last year, and then their father got one this year, and then hopefully their mother will get one next year. And if I can finish more than 1 next year, I'm hoping that my in-laws will get 1 each next year. We'll see. I haven't honestly knit Scott and I one yet, which is funny. But maybe I'll try to knit ours too. I don't know. We don't really like fill stockings, so it's not the end of the world if we don't get ours first. Yeah, and I love them. They're really fun to knit. They are so festive and cheerful, and they just feel very classic in a way. So I've been enjoying those. And we'll continue to knit them. And then the next thing I knit, I also don't have. I will insert a picture of it blocking. I think it might be the only picture I have of it. It was the Coral Reef scarf by Lisa Haynes. I knit it as a gift for my boss. We do a Secret Santa every year at our office. And I had her, and I also happened to know that she was planning on retiring, and so I wanted to try and make it a little extra special. So I knit her a scarf in, actually it's very similar to this like eucalyptus color of this everyday color, in Juniper Moon's Patagonia. It's a DK weight yarn. It's wonderful to work with. It's 100% merino. I would definitely recommend it. And it was a really fun scarf to knit. I honestly kind of want one, so I might try and cast one on this year. I just love how simple the shape is, how easy it is to wear. And I knit it, there's a couple of size options. I knit the longest option that she shows in the samples, and my boss is quite tall. I think she's like 5'10", 5'11", and so I think that was a good choice because it looked kind of long on me, but it's kind of perfect on her. It almost might be a little short, but she seems like she loves it, so that's what matters. And then the last thing I finished, actually it's not the last thing I finished. I forgot to write one thing down and I'll have to go get it. But the last sweater I finished in 25 was Karla's sweater by Trine Meulengracht or Camerose DK in Snefnug. It is a pattern that calls for either Snefnug or Midnatsel, which is their lace weight alpaca. If you do the lace weight alpaca, you have to hold 4 strands, or the Snefnug, you hold 1 strand. I chose the Snefnug. And it's honestly just like a little box, and with like an unfinished rolled hem at the collar and some fun stripes. And then it has like a little bit of a bell sleeve. These are like bracelet length. And then an I-cord bind off on the edge there. I love this sweater so much. I do think the pattern recommends like 36 centimeters through here. And when I did that, that was like here on the sweater, and it was way too wide on me. I'm pretty narrow, or just like, I guess I'm kind of petite. I'm not even 5 feet. So I ended up like mattress stitching some of this to close it, and I think I need to go just even a tiny bit further. So I might do that soon. I just honestly haven't had a chance yet. I just finished it at the end of the year. But I love the stripes, and the colors were so hard to choose. I get really stressed out about picking 3 colors at a time. I can do 2. I just like after 2, I don't know, there's something about it. But yeah, it's really cozy. This is a blown yarn. It's with a cotton core, so it's not too warm, and it's pretty light, and it's very enjoyable to wear. I have these like brown trousers that I love wearing it with, and then it has a twisted rib at the bottom. And that was the last sweater I finished in 25. And then I did finish one more thing. This I finished in like, I don't know, maybe 3 days. I cast it on right before the end of the year, and I think I finished it on New Year's Eve. And I honestly, I'll have to put the pattern information on the screen because I don't remember what it's called or who it's by. But it's this sweet little just like triangle scarf. I wear it a lot, like tied around my head on a cold day, or I just like, I've been honestly wearing it like almost every day, just tied around my neck. It adds just enough warmth. It is in Isayer's Boucle yarn and their Tivini, which is a lace weight or a fingering weight yarn. It's very fun to use such a rustic yarn with such a fluffy yarn, and I just love this emerald green. I think I might make either a red or a cream version of this because honestly I wear it so much, and it's just like the perfect weight, it's the perfect size. I feel like I can tie it this way and wear it sort of tucked in like that, or like I said, I wear it just tied around the back as a triangle, and then sometimes I'll even just like leave it flopping, and it's perfect. And my office is always so cold, so I really enjoy having just this little bit of warmth around my neck. Yeah, it's a great little thing. I finished it in like 3 days, and it kind of was fun to like round out the year finishing something on the 31st. So we were driving down to Bend with my brother and sister-in-law to stay at an Airbnb for the weekend together for the holiday, and I finished it like in the car on our drive, so that was enjoyable. And I would definitely make another one. So that's my 2025. I finished 12 items, so basically like one thing a month. I do have quite a few things that I was working on that I will be bringing into 2026, and we'll see if I finish more next year. So the next thing I thought would be fun to talk about were some whips that I'll be bringing into 2026, and then some knitting goals for 2026. So I will release another video about that soon, and we'll see where this goes. If I continue it, if I don't continue it, I don't know. It's my first video, and I'm a little nervous about putting this into the world. I don't know if anyone will want to watch, and I also feel a little silly when I know watch this, like I'm too nervous for you to see it. So we'll see what happens if I continue to do it, and yeah, we'll just see where 2026 takes us. Again, I'm Lauren. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we'll see if you stick around. Thanks for watching.